There, it's Angela here and welcome to 15 Minutes in Trafalgar Square. Welcome to this walk around Trafalgar Square. It used to be known as Charing Cross, but then in commemoration of this guy over here, it became named after the Battle of Trafalgar. So we are in the city of Westminster, and if you look straight ahead of you through the fountain, you can see the Westminster area. Big Ben, all that type of thing, straight down there. We're overlooking the fountain, so it's going to be a short 10-15 minute walk just to show you what's on in Trafalgar Square. Bit of history, stuff like that. St. Martin in the Fields Church. Famously available for the destitute and the homeless. I think set up by Henry VIII. This kind of traditionally marks sort of the beginning of the poorer end of town, the more poverty-stricken end of town, with the posher end of town behind me along Pall. Charing Cross Station, just over there. So we're on the east side of the square. And here we are at the National Gallery. This is the pedestrianised north side of the square, following major works. And it's a square associated historically with protest, demonstrations. On a normal day you might see quite often small protests or people speaking or small crowds along here. Also find artists. A piece of street art here. What have we got? This is very much a square surrounded by museums, galleries, historic buildings. In the centre there is a cafe. No idea if it's open at the moment. The square is actually owned by the Queen in right of the Crown and managed by the Greater London Authority, and poor Westminster City Council have to manage the roads. Gets pretty busy here. They did some excavation work, I think, down on the south side of the square in the 1950s. And they actually found the remains of caved lions, rhinos, straight-tusked elephants, and hippopotamuses, or hippopotami as they're called. Sainsbury wing of the National Gallery. And ahead of us we are looking at Pall Mall East. Won't be walking along there today, although there is a video on this channel of trotting along Pall Mall towards Buckingham Palace. That's Canada House. Nice spot here, right on the corner of Trafalgar Square. I know we've got some people living in Canada watching the channel. So there you go, there's Canada House. Going to walk straight through the middle of the square now. It's actually been a square in some form here since the 13th century. But this is the redeveloped one from the 18th century. 19th century. John Nash used to be one of the busiest architects on the planet in London. during the 19th century. I don't know how we found time to eat. We are in July 2020. It's going to be a warm day today, 25 degrees forecast, but with some rain later. It's quite pleasant now. It's going to cloud over, I suspect. And here we are at the fountains. It's a funny story of the fountains. When John Nash designed Trafalgar Square, one of the things they wanted to do was get rid of us unruly Brits who came and demonstrated and messed around and filled the place up. And that was considered undesirable. So the fountains were put in the square to stop public gatherings. I think you can probably work out that wasn't terribly successful, as it's continued to be a place of protest. Well, for hundreds of years actually. So we've got some public toilets here. They are actually open. Sign telling us not to feed the pigeons. They are feral pigeons, and there have been massive efforts to get rid of them actually in the square. So for the Canadian dwellers amongst you, full on view of Canada House. I'm not even going to try to do a Canadian accent. That would be embarrassing. Here we are, the famous fountains in the square. If you ever see images from London at New Year, there's a good chance you've seen people in the fountain or around the fountain. I guess if they're really drunk they might be in the fountains. Forgot to point out, just as I was over there, the empty fourth plinth. So we've got sculptures all around Trafalgar Square, apart from on the fourth plinth, which is now reserved for contemporary arts, special commissions, all those types of things. So you see various ones appearing on there. It's empty at the moment. I'm going to guess that's a COVID thing. I'm not sure. Actually, in the spray of the fountains, there's a really strong smell of chlorine. I'm guessing they've been working pretty hard on that. It smells like if you ever go on a ride at a theme park, one of those sort of ones that you go wee and splash into water, and it smells like that. Sorry, I'm a bit of a theme park junkie. Like the adrenaline rush. I don't know what's wrong with me. I actually don't know what street that is it? That's what that's saying. Yep, Cockspur Street. So that's Cockspur Street Spring Gardens. Great big truck. Even though you're seeing a lot of traffic, it's actually quieter than usual at the moment. We're on the south side of Trafalgar Square right now. And if we went down where those buses are, we would head down to Parliament and Downing Street. Downing Street is straight down there. There's a Marble Arch bus. Charles James Napier. So we've got the famous lions guarding. Let me see if I can do a nice sweeping upward shot for you. Oh, I do love these signs here. And you see them on the pedestrian crossing, the greens just turned off now. Right, so here are the lions guarding the famous Nelson's Column. Sweeping view incoming upwards to the guy at the top. Built in 1840 to commemorate Horatio Nelson's death at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. Here's one of those big tough lions. Normally in the summer, you find a lot of people here eating their ice creams, hanging out. It's pretty busy actually. Trafalgar Square gets really busy. There we are, straight down to Big Ben. Okay, so that's Big Ben covered in scaffolding in the distance. Been under repair for quite some time. And over there is Admiralty Arch. Do check out the walk. I'm going to do a walk from Admiralty Arch down to Buckingham Palace. So anyone who wants to walk from Trafalgar Square to Buckingham Palace, I'll be doing a walk on another video between here and there. It's not far, 10 minutes, something like that. I haven't planned a video, but I may do a video down there from Trafalgar Square to Westminster. So here we are, another great big lion looking down upon me. People repairing and cleaning the lions, so I'm going to have clean lions now. And there we are, another angle up at Old Nelson. Fountains Direct. I guess that's their job. Fountain cleaning. So I seem to have accidentally wandered right into the middle of the square. I didn't realise this is a fenced area actually. So they've sort of fenced this bit off. Bit windy, sorry if the mic is windy. Beautiful day for it. If things were normal right now, it would be really busy here. And lots of school parties. Always school parties coming here. And here's the cafe here. Although personally, I prefer the cafe just over the road at St Martin in the Fields Church. There's a fantastic crypt cafe at St Martin in the Fields Church. Really popular with us locals. Anybody you talk to that comes to this area, they all go to the Crypt Cafe at St Martin in the Fields Church. And I think some regular commenters on this channel, I think John Hawkin, I think you've mentioned, haven't you, that you go to the Crypt Cafe. Roberts London as well. Oh, I'm getting wet here, splattered by the fountains. There might be some water on the cabin. Oh, I did want to show you this over here. So this is a fascinating little landmark. Why am I showing you a tiny little hut, you might be asking? Tiny little hut here. Anyone know what this is? It's an old police lookout. Have a look here, got a nice little lamp on the top. And why is there a little granite police lookout here? Well, again, it's due to the unruliness. So we're right on the corner, the southeast corner of Trafalgar Square. And it was found that, well, people protested here anyway. And the police didn't know how to monitor the crowds. So they actually set what was considered to be an ugly police hut here to help the police communicate during demonstrations. It had a telephone inside. Well, in the 1920s, it was considered such an eyesore, people say either get rid of it or make it look a bit better. And so they decided to make it look a bit better. So they covered it in these granite pillars, put a lantern on the top, and continued to observe. There's no phone in there anymore, it's empty now. We've got more sophisticated surveillance techniques. I do hope you enjoyed that walk. Nice quick walk around Trafalgar Square. Thank you for watching. More walks in this area coming up very, very soon. Might be up already, depending on when you're watching this. See you next time. Bye bye.